Ah, there you are, traveler. It's been 2 moons since we last met, and yet, here you are already, waiting by the fire. I feel your excitement, that restless little spark in your chest, and right beneath it, I feel that too. That worry, that tired, aching doubt you pretend isn't there. Relax. I'm not judging you. Honestly, you're doing better than most. It's exhausting, isn't it? Carrying a truth that feels too big to speak out loud, while every choice you make feels laughably small in comparison. That's what happens when the world is cracking open and everyone insists it's fine. I see you. I've always seen you. And I need you to keep that spark alive, because you, my friend, are a dreamer, troublemaker, the kind of person the world only tolerates after it needs them. So, if the world is broken, we fix it. It's not your job to pretend nothing's wrong. No, your job is far more inconvenient. You're here to help us usher in the world that comes after the storm. You knew that already. Don't deny it. I saw the moment it settled in your bones. But wait. What was that just now? That flicker in your eyes? Doubt? Careful, traveler. Listen closely, because I won't repeat myself. Change has never come to those who stayed quiet, kept their heads down, or waited politely for permission. A new world is crawling its way into existence right now. You can feel it, can't you? It's here. It's coming. So what will you do? Tremble at the edge of the unknown? Or bare your teeth and fight like tomorrow depends on it? Because, between you and me, it does. You carry something powerful now, and I knew I'd find you back here again. Sharper, braver, a little more dangerous and cunning than the last time I saw you. Tonight, we'll continue our story. So set your worries down here with me, just for a while. You can pick them up later. For now, I need your full attention. Now, stare into the fire. Good. Let me take you back to the moment the world broke before, when the scars we see now were bleeding wounds.
Before this world there were others. 4 suns have burned and fallen, and the 5th sun's light is waning. In the 2nd sun, when wind ruled the world, Tezcatlipoca looked upon Xochiquetzal, goddess of beauty, and stole her away. Some say that when she was kidnapped, the skies wept and storms battered the lands, as her loss represented the beginning of humanity's greatest loss, innocence and creativity. To many gods, Tezcatlipoca, the smoking mirror, was a monster. In Tezcatlipoca's eyes, however, he kept her safe from the ruin he foresaw. He carried her to Miktlan, the underworld, where nothing could touch her. For that transgression, the gods called him a thief, and they were right. His brother, Quetzalcoatl, cast the 4 winds upon him, battering the world with hurricanes, sweeping away mountains and shorelines in the storms. Smoke can't hide from the wind, and so the smoking mirror was dethroned. Their feud never ended. It only changed masks with every age, as new dawns began. By the time the 5th sun, our world rose, the wounds between Tezcatlipoca, Tlaloc, and Quetzalcoatl still bled. And when the pale strangers arrived on the shores, and came with thunder and iron in their hands, the people turned their prayers towards fear. Temples burned, tongues fell silent, and in the heart of Tenochtitlan, Tonantzin fell. As her blood spilled into the lakes and stained the hands of those who killed her, something awful rose from the water. Something that engulfed those with blood on their hands. Something hungry, created and fueled by greed. Something that did not belong here. The mother of all things, she who had nursed the world through 5 ages, was struck down by hands that knew no reverence. Tezcatlipoca searched for Tonantzin. As he looked upon the ruins, it dawned on him. The smoking mirror had always reflected the complexities of human existence. Where there was beauty and love, there was also greed and war. The capacity for good and evil was a balance humanity had proven time and time again. But if the evil in mankind won, they would craft their own downfall. Tezcatlipoca wouldn't be the one to end the world. He didn't have to. He found her among the ruins, where the sacred met the desecrated. Monsters had begun to rise from her blood, testaments to the carnage they'd unleashed. In the smoke rising from the city, he saw his own reflection. Destruction, brought about not by the gods, but by mankind. His eyes found Tonantzin, and his world shattered. She lay across the scorched earth, her heart torn, her blood running into the cracks between the stones. The city smoldered, its reflection trembling in the canals, and the air reeked of iron and smoke. He knelt beside her, his hands blackened with soot. Around him, the other gods watched in silence, their light dimmed, their temples gone. He took from his shoulders a length of ajate, the coarse maguey fiber cloth that mortals wrapped themselves in when the night turned cold. It was humble, worn and torn by time, yet sacred in its simplicity. He spread it out, and with reverence few had ever seen from him, he gathered Tonantzin's body and wrapped her in it.
Sleep, Tonantzin. The world is not yet ready for our grief.
The gods stood around him, watching their eyes reflecting in the dying light of the sun. When the sky darkened with ash, Tezcatlipoca addressed the others. He had an idea. He had done this before, with Xochiquetzal, and she had endured. He promised the gods that she was alive in Miktlan. Now he offered the same escape to them. Tezcatlipoca knew then that the only hope for salvation they had lay where not many gods dared to go. And so began the descent. Humans speak of losing faith in God, but have you seen gods lose faith in humanity? The gods feared that they would fade as their names were erased. Others feared something else entirely. Behind the invaders was something else too. Something new to this land that they had brought here. A hunger masquerading as faith, feeding on blood and devotion. As the sun set, many gods remembered that the time between suns was when the monsters would emerge. Even those who doubted and hated him followed. Through the night, in the blood-stained streets of Tenochtitlan, they vanished. Past bones, roots, and broken idols, down in the heart of the earth, where there existed caverns, cenotes, and desolate lands that no mortal soul had ever touched. At the gates of Miktlan, Miktlan waited. Again, you bring me what is not mine, he said.
Keep us until the next dawn, until the next sun is ready to rise. We will survive this only with your kindness.
Tezcatlipoca replied, pleading. The ruler of Miktlan looked past him, towards the gods who sought shelter. His eyes caught a glimpse of Tonantzin. her body wrapped in the humble cloth. The gate of Miktlan creaked open with a sound like stone grinding against bone. A wind without warmth blew outwards, carrying the scent of dust and charcoal. They stepped through, carrying Tonantzin's body. Her skin, once radiant with the warmth of harvest, had faded to the color of pale clay. Her braid lay still across her chest. Inside Miktlan, the air changed. Not colder, but somehow it was emptier. The moment her body crossed the threshold, the Ahuizotl twitched. At first they thought it was just the wind. Then the threads moved again, deliberate, like something beneath was shifting. A faint glow seeped from the weave, pulsing slowly like a dying heartbeat, remembering its rhythm.
She's gone.
Miktlan whispered, almost pleading with the universe.
She can't.
The Ahuizotl tightened around the body. The glow intensified, gold turning to ember red, then to the hard, glassy shine of obsidian. Tonantzin's still form arced, bones cracking in gruesome revelation. From the cocoon spilled light, red, molten and alive, bleeding across the chamber walls. The air thickened, molten patterns spreading like veins through the obsidian. The gods fell silent. Then she rose. The light showed her silhouette, tall, skeletal, skin the color of oxidized jade, and obsidian speckled like the night sky. A crown of quetzal feathers and obsidian shards haloed her skull, and her eyes burned with hollow fire. When she spoke, her voice was not Tonantzin's.
You brought me here.
She said.
You left the world as it burns above you.
Behind her, the cocoon's remnants split further, revealing shapes moving in the fissures. Pale figures with obsidian eyes, crawling from the fractures in the earth. The Mime, the star demons, her daughters. Itzpapalot looked upon the gods and smiled.
You call me mother? Then learn what it means to be born of despair.
Her wings flared wide, eclipsing the chamber in shadow. Every god stepped back, even Tezcatlipoca. Her hungry eyes landed on the first god. Miktlan's cry echoed through the cavern as Itzpapalot descended on her. Then she was swallowed by darkness. Her divine form folded in on itself, collapsing into a stream of gold that poured into Itzpapalot's hands. She drank, and with that, the first god was devoured. The others broke. One by one, they tried to flee Miktlan, but to no avail. Shalot could do nothing but silently escape to the borders of Miktlan, the liminal space between life and death, the shoreline of the Black River. Tezcatlipoca alone stood still, the weight of his actions haunting him for eons. He did not run. He did not speak. He only watched, his reflection flickering in the surface of the river as the gods he had sworn to protect were unmade before him. When the last echo faded, he would be alone with her. One day, after she devoured the sun, she'd turn on him. One day there would be nothing left to consume. Itzpapalot turned her gaze to him. There was no hatred in her eyes, only hunger and ambition.
You meant to save them,
She said softly.
and so you preserve their pain. Look at what you've done, Shadow.
Her wings unfolded, vast and shimmering.
Do you see now what mercy becomes when it is buried?
He could not answer. Mexico City, 2025. The hostel lay in silence when the figure arrived, carrying two bodies in his arms. Temo sagged heavily against his shoulder. Yaretsi's arm swung limp at his side. They were alive, but spent, drawn past the limits of flesh and will. The Ahuizotl had almost claimed them, but not tonight. The door to the Coyote's den groaned open, the sound sharp in the calm stillness of the night. He stepped inside, a shadow dissolving into a deeper darkness. The air was damp, tinged with wood and stone, and the faint smell of a freshly cleaned floor. The stage looked empty, its coils of cable resting like serpents in hibernation. The chairs were stacked up neatly. No voices stirred. You could almost hear the heartbeats in the quiet. He went upstairs and he laid them down. His rough hands moved gently, pulling a blanket over Temo and gently brushing Yaretsi's damp hair from her forehead. For an instant, his amber eyes softened, an echo of tenderness he had not allowed himself in lifetimes. Then it passed as he turned to go. This place was not his and never would be. But the silence betrayed him, and he froze in place, hoping the darkness would conceal him. The basement latch clicked, the door shifting open to spill a pale blade of light across the floor. Huehuecóyotl emerged, not quite looking like the person he pretended to be while he was running the business. He was more careless, his disguise fraying at the edges. His muttering ceased as he caught the weight of the room. He was not alone. The figure stilled, and Huehuecóyotl squinted through the darkness, and there in the hall ahead stood the figure. Not quite man, not quite beast. They regarded one another in silence, the tension heavy and palpable. At last, Huehuecóyotl's mouth curled into a grin, thin and dangerous. Well, well, trying to slip past me, are you? The figure did not answer. The darkness around it seemed to grow heavier. The Coyote's grin twisted into a stern, knowing look. Not even a greeting? After all this time?
They're upstairs, breathing. Your humans did not drown because of me.
The words hit like a blow. Huehuecóyotl bristled, pride stung, not by the rescue, but by the intrusion. His hands balled into fists before he remembered to unclench them. Ojin, you drag them back into my house and then walk away as if nothing has changed? Ojin did not bend to the anger. He shifted his weight, body angled toward the stairwell.
They are alive. That is what matters.
The trickster's laugh snapped sharp in the dark, brittle and thin. You think saving them is enough? That it earns you clemency? Have you forgotten what you ran from, you coward?
Is it not enough for you, Coyote?
Huehuecóyotl's eyes narrowed. He looked at Ojin, not at his body, fragile and killable, but at what lay behind it. This was no god. He could bleed, break, die like any man, but death would not end him. Ojin was a Nahual. His spirit carried something that the passage of time and flesh could not destroy. Memory upon memory. Secrets of gods, passed on in memories and dreams, survived in him. End him here and he would not vanish. He would seed himself another vessel, carrying the forest of memory forward, roots spreading in silence where the gods could not find them. The humans and other gods had tried to burn him long ago. Nahuals, like him, had been burnt in the Inquisition. But Ojin was living proof. What they burnt returned, like the forest itself. And that's what unsettled Coyote the most. He was not facing one man, but the living accumulation of all the selves before him. A bridge between gods and mortals that somehow still remained. Huehuecóyotl stepped forward, maintaining eye contact with the figure, and sat in a chair at a 2-person table. Stay, sit, speak. You owe me answers, and I will have them. Don't make me take them by force. Ojin gave a gentle nod of his head, a gesture of agreement without surrender, and stepped towards the table. Dawn crept pale across the city. Upstairs, 2 mortals slept on, unknowing of the dealings occurring in the hall below. Dawn. A gentle knock stirred Temo from a shallow sleep. The door creaked open, and Yuretsi leaned in, shielding one eye with her hand, as if the morning light was too sharp.
Psst. Demo?
He groaned, voice rough.
Before you ask, I'm just as confused as you are.
She frowned, pressing her palm harder to her temple.
Dude, you've gotta get downstairs. Huehuecóyotl needs you to check in guests. Don't tell me you forgot you're working today. I'll cover for you for a bit, but you've gotta get ready quick. I need the day off. I feel so weird.
That made 2 of them. Temo sat up, heart tugging with flashes of the night before. He opened his mouth to ask if she remembered anything about the lake, the claws, the fight, but Yuretsi spoke first.
Do you remember what happened last night?
She gave a dry laugh.
Maybe I need to stop mixing drinks.
Temo blinked, baffled. She described only a dull, aching heaviness in her body, as though she'd been wrung out, but nothing more. No memory of the lake, no mention of the monster. Maybe she doesn't remember at all, he thought. He forced a smile, though unease prickled.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yuretsi gave him a nod, already turning to go. As the door clicked shut behind her, Temo sat still in the silence, the question gnawing at him. Why did she remember nothing when he couldn't stop replaying it? Downstairs, Huehuecóyotl was waiting, coffee in hand and his grin as sharp as ever. Demo, meet our newest recruit. He gestured grandly towards the counter, where a lanky figure leaned. Shaggy hair, denim jacket patched to hell, a base case strapped across his back. Straight from up north, and back to the motherland. Ojin! Temo shook his hand, though the name nagged at him with a faint sense of deja vu. Huehuecóyotl watched the exchange too closely, smile curling wider. Perfect, because, funny story, I was supposed to book a band for tomorrow. Only, he spread his hands in mock tragedy. I accidentally booked them for next month. Oops. Temo blinked.
Wait, so there's no act?
No act. A tragedy, yes, but also an opportunity. Because, congratulations, Temo. You're promoted. Event manager, talent scout, fixer of my mistakes, dream chaser extraordinaire. You get to save our ass and make magic happen. Temo stared at him.
You're serious?
Oh, dead serious, Huehuecóyotl said, waving his wrist as he knocked his coffee mug off the counter onto a printer that, up until its caffeinated demise, was printing posters with the wrong dates on them. Temo's eye was twitching. Do you have any idea how many people would love to do this? A chance to take control, to prove yourself? So Temo, Ojin, you best get acquainted. I'm gonna need you, Temo, to show him the ropes and try to come up with a solution for me, yeah? I believe in you. This was going to be a long day. The days stretched with the grind of training. Temo showed Ojin the basics. How to log guest IDs, where the spare keys were, how not to jam the till. He rattled off instructions while wiping counters and stacking glasses, keeping his hands busy as if to ignore the weight of Huehuecóyotl's challenge. Ojin only half listened. His eyes kept straying to the base leaning against the counter.
You're not listening.
Temo muttered.
I am. Keys by the desk, don't piss off guests, check IDs. Don't burn the place down. Got it. But I'd rather hear about your music.
Temo groaned, ducking under the bar to scrub at a stubborn stain. He tried to hide the embarrassment and inadequacy he felt.
It's Well, I've written a few passion projects and would love to bring some to life one day, but why do you care? I'm not actually doing anything with it. So,
Because you lit up when I asked you about it. That's all.
Ojin said. Temo shook his head, scrubbing harder.
I'm not some prodigy. I played drums in a couple garage bands. Yaretsi's the one who's serious. She's been doing sound for ages, setting up shows, always chasing music. Moved out here just for that.
He pointed to the stain.
And this is your first test. Mystery sludge duty. I don't know if this is wine or the blood of a former bassist that used to work here. Enjoy.
He glanced up with a grin and stopped. Ojin wasn't looking at the stain. He was watching him, steady, searching, a moment too long. Then he crouched with the rag.
No, I mean it, Temo. You seem like a driven guy. Why shouldn't tomorrow be your moment?
Temo blinked, caught off guard. Was Ojin really implying what he thought he was?
Because people don't just wake up and decide to put on a set. You need time, practice, an actual band.
You've got the band.
Ojin cut in.
You, me, and Yaretsi. That's enough. The rest? You figure it out along the way.
Temo shook his head, but the thought had already taken root. It pulsed in him. If not now, then when? By mid-afternoon, Temo found his moment to slip away. He padded upstairs, hesitated outside of Yaretsi's door, then rapped 3 quick knocks, uneven like always. The door swung open.
Yo.
Yaretsi said, casually, leaning against the frame. Her laptop glowed behind her on the desk. Cables and pedals scattered like entrails of a half-built machine. She looked better, clearer-eyed, alert, though her movements were still heavy with exhaustion. Temo felt a knot loosen in his chest.
What are you up to?
Just fiddling around with some new ideas.
She waved toward the mess of equipment.
You off work already? I could show you.
He shook his head, grinning.
Not yet. Still stuck training the new guy. But I've got news. Remember how you said it'd be cool to do a live show one day?
Her brow arched. She glanced at Temo, suspicious of this sudden enthusiasm.
Well, yeah, one day.
Temo's grin widened.
Tomorrow.
She choked on her lemon water, coughing hard enough to make him flinch back.
Tomorrow? Are you insane?
Look, it's just a short set. We'll keep it simple. Go with the flow.
Yaretsi wiped her mouth, glaring and laughing all at once.
Temo, my guy, have you lost it? We're not ready for that.
He leaned into the moment, eyes shining.
No one's ever really ready. Opportunities don't wait around.
Yaretsi chuckled.
You sound like a motivational speaker. Be for real with me for just 1 second right now. Are you joking?
But deep down, she hesitated. Beneath the hardened exterior, Temo could see the dream sparkling behind her eyes. The one she usually kept buried under all that careful planning. Yaretsi was practical, calculating, the one who made sure his head didn't float away in the clouds. But she wanted this too. She always had. Finally, she sighed. Resigned, but not without excitement.
Fine. But you're going to regret springing this on me when I drag you through rehearsal hell tonight. But for the love of all things holy, do not mix espresso and energy drinks again. Okay?
Temo laughed.
Deal. Meet us at the bar stage later. Me, you, and Ojin. We'll start setting up.
She gave him a shove toward the hallway.
Then go finish babysitting your new bassist.
He lingered for a moment after the door shut, listening to the muffled thrum of her guitar. She really didn't remember last night. How could he ever forget? But now, whether he liked it or not, his mind would be preoccupied with other things. By evening, the den had shifted into its nocturnal rhythm. Temo manned reception long enough to close it down for the night, hanging a small sign with a phone number scrawled across it. He handed the phone to Ojin.
Whoever's on shift keeps this. Calls come in, you answer. Got it?
Ojin nodded absently, already plugging in his bass amp. Temo shook his head, then moved behind the upstairs bar, opening bottles, wiping down counters. A handful of patrons drifted in, ordering cocktails before disappearing to take in the view of the Zocalo. When he looked back, Yaretsi had arrived, arms full of gear. She dumped it on the stage with a grin that was equal parts nerves and exhilaration. Ojin offered her a hand, and the two bent into an easy rhythm of setting up. Temo started to head their way when someone slid onto a stool at the bar.
Hey, Hector.
Temo said, trying to not let his exhaustion show. Hector smiled and raised a glass to Temo. Look at you. Training staff, manning the bar, planning a show, all in the same day. Temo sighed, shoulders sagging.
If you're gonna scold me for using work time to set this up, just get it over with.
Instead, Hector's grin softened. Why would I? You're being efficient, turning a mistake into an opportunity. That's good business. He leaned closer, eyes catching the dim light in a way that made Temo's skin prickle. Besides, it was a compliment. I see you. I'm proud of you, kid. For just a heartbeat, those eyes didn't look human at all. They looked older, wilder, like fire caught in a mirror. Temo blinked rapidly. So tired. Clearly he must be seeing things. He fixed his posture and reached for a cold glass of water to help him stay grounded in reality.
Thanks. Sorry. It's just been a long day.
Hector chuckled, sliding behind the bar to take over. Go on. You got a show to plan. Temo didn't argue. His chest still thudded with nerves, but he crossed the stage where Yaretsi was untangling her cables, and Ojin was testing a low thrum from his bass. For a rare moment, everything felt steady, a rhythm forming between them, fragile but real. From the bar, Hector watched in silence, mezcal bottle in hand. On impulse, Hector grabbed a tray and set 3 glasses on it. He filled them with a personal favorite, then carried them across the floor to the little stage where the would-be band sat catching their breath. Here, he said, setting the tray down with a gentle clink. You've earned this. They each took a glass, smiling tired thanks. Hector lingered, his own glass catching the dim light, the mezcal shimmering like smoke in liquid form. He raised it slightly, voice warming as though this toast had been waiting for him all along. Thank you for your flexibility, for your stubbornness to succeed, for taking disarray and bending it into something else. They clinked their glasses together, and then Hector drank deep. One glass, then another. His grin wavered as the fire coursed through him. By the time he poured again, his words were heavier, looser, frayed at the edges. It's always you, he muttered, staring at the glass like it might answer him. Always the young who have to clean up the mess we leave behind. You saved my ass today. So, I've got a story for you kids. He leaned forward, eyes gone distant, as if the smoke from the mezcal blurred into another time. During the revolution, there was a man named Emilio Robles, born not too far from here, but born as someone else too. Well, what do you know? He took up arms young, and when the fighting came, he fought like the earth itself was behind him. Didn't matter if it was a rifle, a pistol, a saber, he wielded it like it was an extension of his body. Temo blinked, caught by the sudden intensity of his tone. Hector kept going, voice sharpening. They tried to tell him who he could be, tried to force him back into a life that never fit, and he refused. Lived as himself, fought as himself, and no one dared question him once they saw the courage in him. He carried wounds that would have ended others, bullet scars and broken bones, but he turned them into fuel. He burned brighter for them. He didn't just survive the revolution, he outlasted it, demanded respect in a world that gave none freely. They called him Colonel Robles in the end. The room fell silent. Even Ojin seemed to lean forward now, his face unreadable in the half-light. He squinted, but didn't dare speak. Hector's eyes fixed on Temo, shining too brightly. When I met him... The words slipped out before he could catch them. Ojin's shoulders tensed, and Hector's voice faltered, but it was too late. When I met him, he had the same spirit you do, the same courage, the same drive. Temo's chest tightened. Yaretsi's brow furrowed. The words kept repeating in his mind. When I met him. The silence stretched until Ojin cut it clean with a wry, smooth barb.
Sounds like that was too many spirits for you there.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. He poured again, forcing the mood back into shape. But it's true. Courage repeats. Doesn't matter how rigged the game gets, there are always those that are forced to play. And even if the circumstances are stacked against them, when chaos shapes them into stronger, more resilient version they ever thought they'd be, they fight, and they still come out winners. He raised his glass high, forcing the others to follow. To chaos, and to the reckless ones who keep standing, even when the world does everything it can to break them. The clink of glass rang out, sharp in the empty bar. Mezcal burned down their throats, bitter and clean. But it wasn't the drink Temo would remember. It was the look in Hector's eyes. Wild, ancient, and for the first time inviting. Temo could feel the tension rising from Ojin, but couldn't describe the feeling well. He felt like he was trapped at a current he didn't understand. Ojin leaned back in his chair, glass turning slowly in his hand. His tone was casual, but his timing was too precise to be accidental.
So,
He said, glancing between them.
what are you wanting to call the band? Since we play tomorrow, we don't exactly have much time.
Temo blinked. Yaretsi snorted into her drink, raising her glass with a grin.
Free mezcal.
She joked, the words tumbling out half a laugh. Hector nodded immediately, deadly serious. Perfect. Temo groaned, but Yaretsi's laughter only grew louder as she realized he wasn't joking. Ojin tilted his head, watching the trickster's approval with caution. And just like that, their name was set. Free Mezcal. Huehuecóyotl had been up all night, long after the guests had gone to bed, and after Temo and Yaretsi shut their doors and the last patrons stumbled into the street. He remained on the rooftop bar, mezcal in hand. One glass, then another, until the bottle itself was nearly empty. The city stretched beneath them, restless even at its quietest hours. A sprawl of lights burning like 1,000 defiant stars. He sat on the stage, his eyes fixed on nothing, his trademark grin worn thin by solitude. Each swallow blurred the noise, but never the memory. By the time dawn began to tease the horizon, he had not moved. The bottle dangled loosely from his hand when the footsteps came. Measured, deliberate. Huehuecóyotl didn't turn. Ojin stepped into the morning glow. Huehuecóyotl's voice was low, sharp. So, it is you, after all these years. Ojin averted his gaze, fumbling with the words he held before he spoke.
I came because it's time.
The trickster turned, eyes narrowing until his grin became a blade. How dare you abandon me? How dare you leave me in the dark while I wondered if you were dead? Or worse, still kneeling at Tezcatlipoca's feet. Tell me, Ojin, how do I know you're not still his? That you won't drag Tezcatlipoca's chaos straight through my door, the same way you dragged those mortals. He stepped closer, fury rising. And how sneaky of you, conspiring with them, laughing with them, enjoying their company, as if you belong here. Ojin didn't flinch, though the words cut deep.
You needed me, Huehuecóyotl. I'm part of your plan, whether you'll admit it or not. And your humans? Well, they were about to die to an Ahuizotl. I did what you couldn't.
Huehuecóyotl slammed his palm against the railing. The iron groaned. You're lucky. Lucky I didn't tear you apart the moment you crossed my threshold. Ojin's jaw tightened, but his voice softened.
No, you wouldn't. I know you.
The trickster's snarl faltered, something older flickering behind it. He turned away, but Ojin pressed on.
I was his Nahual, yes. Tezcatlipoca made me his shadow. He housed me, he trained me, he raised me as if I were his own son. But I remember what it was to be human, to starve, to dream, to hope in the face of nothingness. When the people of Tenochtitlan cried out, he turned away. He even locked the gods underground and gave up on them. He left me to fight the conquistadors on my own, to be imprisoned, to suffer at the hands of the Inquisition. He just vanished. No one knows where he is these days.
Ojin drew a breath, steady.
I couldn't give up. So I shed the jaguar skin. I chose yours. I vowed myself to you, because you, at least, never stopped walking among mortals. I think you know what I'm saying, Coyote.
Huehuecóyotl laughed bitterly, thunder rumbling in the sound. You make it sound so good. Betrayal always sounds noble to the ones committing it. Huehuecóyotl's eyes narrowed. You're dangerous, Ojin. A quake that topples mountains, yet dreams of mending the cracks. Do you know what I see when I look at you? A message. Ojin frowned.
A message?
To him. Huehuecóyotl's grin widened, sharp as a knife. That is Nahual. His creature of shadow risked everything for humanity. That you stayed, endured all you have, and still wish to help them. And that means that somewhere in you, there's a fragment of him still alive. And maybe, just maybe, if he sees you again, he'll remember what it feels like. Ojin's breath caught. He searched the god's face, but Huehuecóyotl had already turned back toward the city, eyes on the horizon, as if weaving plans only he could see. The silence stretched, broken only by the hiss of the traffic far below. Finally, Huehuecóyotl's face softened just a fraction. Earthquake, he murmured. That's what you are. Movement, change. You could topple everything I've built, or shake the ground just enough to wake it again.
I still remember how you looked that night, Coyote. When the city burned, your heart broke, and so did mine. I couldn't bear to see what Tezcatlipoca did after that. He just walked away. In the ruins of Tenochtitlan, we lost so much. But I hope you remember where my loyalties lay. I didn't come as his shadow. I came to warn you that he would take the gods, that he meant to lock them below. I gave you a chance to say goodbye to Xochipilli. Back then, I gave you a chance to flee. And if you want to forget that I did, fine. But you are here, free, because of me.
The trickster froze. For once, no witty retort, only silence. And grief glinting like a blade half buried. Ojin's eyes didn't waver.
You love Xochipilli. You love so many of them. I saw your heart split open the night Tezcatlipoca dragged them all away. You've buried it under laughter and parties ever since. But don't pretend you've forgotten.
Huehuecóyotl's voice broke, ragged. Enough! Huehuecóyotl gripped the railing, teeth clenched. I have never forgotten. Don't you dare think I could. Every day, I wake wishing I could tear it out of me. But I can't. I could drink myself blind in this bar I built, bottle after bottle, and still I can't die, let alone forget. Not even for a second. All I do is choke down the fire and pretend it numbs me. but it doesn't. The heart keeps beating, it keeps clawing, it hasn't stopped howling for justice. I walk this earth as a scar of what was taken from me. He leaned close. Fury and desperation tangled. You came back not as his shadow, but as my answer, brother dearest. And as much as I hate it, I need help. I can't do this alone. But it seems I'm the only one left. Ojin's reply was blunt.
And I'm the only Nahual left, too. We're talking about facing Tezcatlipoca, the god who's ended every era. The god who's captured all the others. You know we can't do this.
Huehuecóyotl's grin flickered, sly again. Do you remember what he did to Quetzalcoatl? Ojin frowned.
He destroyed him, shamed him. Some even say he killed him.
Huehuecóyotl's grin widened, teeth flashing. And still, the feathered serpent will rise. And when he does, the gods trapped in Miktlan may still see a new dawn. But Ojin saw the flicker in his eyes. The same look he'd seen in the ruins of Tenochtitlan. Fear behind the grin.
Humanity is not so easily finished. They survive famine, conquest, plague. They'll survive this too. That spark, foolish, stubborn, relentless, it's all we need. We need to find the human champion who carries the spark. Quetzalcoatl will rise from it. Every human has the spark. Some wear hope openly, some bury it deep, but it burns in all of them. You know this, Coyote. That's why you're still here. You believe in them.
Huehuecóyotl turned, eyes flaring with something rare. A gentle vulnerability. Ojin placed a hand to his chest, voice rising like an oath.
I am Ojin. Movement, earthquake, change. My name has always been an omen, but Nahuals were never meant to keep the world still. We are the tremors that break it open, the shadows that guide it towards what must come next. I vow this to you, Huehuecóyotl. I will be by your side, and do this in your name. Not as Tezcatlipoca's shadow, as your ally. I will stand with you, fight with you, and move with you, whatever the sixth sun brings. Light or fire, dawn or death, I will carry it beside you. Because you cannot do this alone, and neither can I.
Huehuecóyotl looked to Ojin with something dangerous. A faint, trembling spark of hope. The trickster's purpose felt clear. Perhaps his greatest ally wouldn't be the part of Ojin connected to the gods, but that which was connected to the humans. Now you know what we must do next to awaken the feathered serpent. I think the ones I've picked have potential.
The Sixth Sun is a production by Coyote Studio. Thank you so much for your support and for continuing to listen to us as we kick the story off. Season 1 is going to wrap up at episode 7, and after this we are going to crowdfund an animated series, and I cannot wait for your support for that as well. Please check out RetroCoin's newest project, Space Western. It's an incredible music video, and of course, check out the newest album, Synthetic Season 4. The music video for Space Western is amazing. I've included some snippets of Space Western in this episode, but please go check it out. It's got so much love and dedication put into it, and thank you, Rich, for being part of this. The Sixth Sun is written by Abigail Roscoe, produced by Liv Kurt, with the voice talent of Hans Potter as our narrator, Mateo Reyes as Tezcatlipoca, Ross Lee as Temo, Abigail Roscoe as Yaretsi, Jamal Kuykendall as Ojin, and Gabby Tejeda as Itzpapalot and Majawel. If you want to access early concept art and check out everything that we have going on, please consider checking out our Patreon. Thank you for your support. We couldn't do this without you. We're an indie series putting everything out for you guys to enjoy, and your continued support means the world to us. Thank you so much, and see you next episode. While celebrating Aztec mythology, the Sixth Sun also wishes to acknowledge that we have recorded and produced these episodes on the unceded territory of the Musqueam, Coast Salish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. Thank you for your support on this project. It means a lot. Thank you for your enthusiasm, your continued support, and for helping indie artists get our project acknowledged. It means a lot to us, and we'll see you at the next episode.